A new poll shows that Bernie Sanders is catching up with Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. So according to the Morning Consult, Bernie trails just 12 points behind Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire, and this is a very, very important primary state. So currently, she's sitting at 44 points, whereas Bernie Sanders is sitting at 32. Now, of course, she still has a pretty big lead, but this really speaks to the fact that Bernie Sanders is able to galvanize the people, because he's a very, very strong public speaker, I think. Some people critique him and say that he's not necessarily very charismatic, but I think he is, because if you really pay attention to the substance of his policies, well, then it makes sense, and it speaks to most voters, because most of his policy positions are overwhelmingly in favor with the American people. We haven't really had a candidate like that since a really long time. Maybe perhaps candidate Obama, but as we've seen, he's taken a completely different route. The reason why I think this is occurring is because with Hillary Clinton, we get these watered down, more vanilla proposals, while she thinks that maybe we should allow students to refinance their student loans, while Bernie Sanders thinks that it should just be free, while Hillary Clinton thinks maybe we should expand healthcare. I'm not necessarily saying that's her stance. I think she supports Obamacare. Well, Bernie Sanders thinks we should have universal health care. So if you just really want to go the extra mile and elect a candidate who's really going for the American people, then that guy is Bernie Sanders. Now, unfortunately, even though he's catching up to Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire, he's still got quite a ways to go in other states. So if we look at Iowa, Hillary is 54 points to Bernie's 12. That's huge. Moving on to South Carolina, it's even a little bit more dismal. Hillary Clinton has 56 points to Bernie's 10 points. So make no mistake, he has a lot of work to do, but the fact that he's able to come from way behind and almost catch up to her in New Hampshire, well, it speaks volumes to his populist message. Why is it that Hillary is currently leading just so far? Well, it's name recognition. A lot of people don't even know who Bernie Sanders is. Our friend David Pakman and Lewis, they did a video about how one person thought that Bernie Sanders was actually a Republican, even though this individual indicated that she's very much progressive. So once he gets his message out there, I think that it's really going to take foot. Now, there's also some other reasons why I think that we should not really discount Bernie Sanders. First and foremost, he has grassroots support. If you look at his campaign events, well, thousands of people are showing up, more so than some of the other events. If you heard about the Rick Santorum event, only 2 people showed up, or no, it was 1 person, although 2 other people showed up later, and he called it a success. No, that's not a success. That's an overwhelming, epic failure. Now, another reason is that he raised more money than establishment Republicans in the first 24 hours of his campaign. $1.5 million exactly, which is crazy. That's more than Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, and Ted Cruz. So this is a guy who he really has the public behind him, and I think that we're going to start to see more and more stories that he's beginning to catch up to Hillary Clinton, and he's really going to give her a run for her money. Now, do I think that Bernie Sanders can actually get the nomination? I do, because if you look at early polling, President, or candidate Obama, that is, he was way behind Hillary, but he started to catch up slowly but surely. Now, to be fair, he wasn't as far behind as Bernie Sanders is. However, Bernie Sanders has a really great message, and he's sticking to the substance of policies. He's not in it for the ad hominem attacks. He's not in this because he just thinks it's his turn. He's in this because he actually cares. He's taken a principled stance. When it comes to Hillary Clinton, I don't know what her stance is. You see, when it comes to the TPP, well, apparently she's against it, but she didn't really issue a declaration against it that was unequivocal. It was kind of against it now. I guess I'm against it. But it took weeks for her to really calculate what her response should be. So instead of waiting to see what his response is to a particular policy issue, he's just going to tell you. He's going to be forward with you. He's a really genuine candidate. Whereas that's not the case with Hillary Clinton, and that's not the case with any of the other GOP contenders. So I think that Bernie Sanders has a real shot, and this is a good indication that that's going to be the case. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a really tough battle, but I think Bernie Sanders can do it. We just got to get behind him. We got to support him. You can go to berniesanders.com and donate to his campaign. Even $5 is going to help, because this is really a grassroots effort. If you want a non-establishment candidate, if you want someone who's going to get money out of politics, you've got to support Bernie Sanders. And even $1, if you could just donate $1, then I think that's better than nothing.